We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we bring you information that has to do with the United States of Biafra. Information coming from the right source. In this platform, we promote and support the restoration fully and recognition of the United States of Biafra under our Prime Minister, Mazi Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, under the leadership of Dr. NgoziOrabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I welcome you. Please like and share to all platforms. In this program, we will be continue to show you information that are coming from all angles, more especially things that has to do with the Biafran territory, regardless where it is, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south. We bring it before you so that you can digest it and have a rethink and know where you stand. The only thing that can guarantee our freedom in that contraption called Nigeria is Biafra. It is either Biafra or nothing. And wherever you are, continue to support the United States of Biafra. That is the only way to go. That is the only way you can have good economy and have security. Regardless what you see today, do not get distracted. Do not get bemoved. Continue to stand your ground, to demand for self-determination because it is your right. Do not allow anyone to take away the right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life from you. Kindly watch this video for more wisdom. Let's watch.
Continuing our discussion on the latest developments in Nnamdi Kanu's terrorism trial, the Department of State Services, DSS, has described the Eastern Security Network, ESN, as an illegal organization. This testimony was given by a DSS operative during Kanu's trial at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The witness who testified behind a protective shield maintained that the ESN lacks legal backing and is not recognized by law. Interestingly, the witness contrasted the ESN with Amotekun, a security outfit in the Southwest region, which was formed with the support of the House of Assembly of the 6 states in the Southwest region. Meanwhile, on their part, Kanu's legal team tendered evidence to dislodge the prosecution's claim that he masterminded the violence and destructions during the NSAS protest in Lagos State. The defense team also played a video evidence featuring public speeches by the DSS DG, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, and a former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma. In this short video clip, the DSS DG at the time, Ajayi, spoke on the need for communities to protect, cooperate with security agencies to stem the tide of insecurity. He concluded by stating that the fight against insecurity should not be left for security agencies alone, even as he expressed the need for communities to rise up and defend themselves against miscreants and criminals within their territory. This video was played as evidence. On his part, the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, was seen in another video exonerating the ESN from killings of top politicians in Olu, blaming the same on opposition politicians. On his part, the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma, was seen in another video urging citizens to rise up and defend themselves. General Danjuma, while accusing security agents of aiding and protecting criminals, said, "If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will die one by one." The court has warned that it will no longer entertain any form of delay in this case, noting that the case has been dragged for about 10 years the trial judge has slated 6 different dates for the prosecution to wrap up its case. I mean, interesting times are here. Yes, it's been 10 years that this case has been dragging. It feels really, it's not about feeling actually, it's been a long time really. And for all of these evidences admitted, counter evidences admitted, I think that it was right for the court to warn that it will no longer entertain any form of delay in this case. Let us see where these conversations are going to, and let's see what the trial will be at the end of the day. But to discuss this today is Dr. Steve Okweri, a security expert who will be analyzing and talking about the details of the situation in Nnamdi Kanu's trial. And I mean, there's so much to talk about, from the detention, the position of the government, the whole idea beyond this detention, and what are the possible outcome of this trial. Good afternoon, Dr. Okweri.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for having me once again.
Yeah, glad to have you again. I really appreciate your, agreeing to come so that we can get the updates on this matter. Let's talk about the deliberate attempts to hold Nnamdi Kanu in detention. Some Nigerians feel this way. I don't know what your position is, but don't you think that the prolonged detention of Nnamdi Kanu, despite court orders for his release, suggests a deliberate attempt by past governments to keep him in detention? It's been 10 years. That's a long time.
Yes, I want to agree with you that it's a deliberate intention, because you recall the last time we had this conversation around Nnamdi Kanu. I talked about this snail speed when it has to do with his issues or his prosecution in the court of law, right? So the thing is, the issue is, it's very disappointing, and I don't see any reason why Nnamdi Kanu should be held in custody. Right.
Okay.
So
okay.
Just in right.
Okay.
So
okay.
Just in okay. You
Go
call
ahead,
it.
please.
We talked about the politics. We talked about the politics around his incarceration, right? So I think since the matter is before the court should do justice within the framework, so that he will find his way out if he's truly innocent of the case before the court.
Yeah, I like the fact that you emphasized on points where he was granted bail and being denied, because there's no point of being granted bail and you would not still be let out of detention. But considering Kanu's bail conditions and subsequent escape, do you believe that the government was genuinely interested in trying him fairly, or they just want to keep him detained to pass a message?
Now, when he was first arrested, you recall that some prominent leaders, both religious and political leaders from the southeast region, went to bail him. They went to receive him on bail. They stood as sureties for him.
Yeah.
And while he was granted bail that time, he was given some conditions: not to go outside the shores of the country, not to grant interview with the media and all that. And at some point, he had to jump bail. He found his way out of Nigeria, and he went to a neighboring country or so before he found his way wherever he finally got to. Right. So the issue is, he has a case to answer, whether we like it or not. Just the way you said in your introduction, he founded the ESN, that is the Eastern Security Network. And of course, you agree with me that it's alleged that the ESN has been carrying out some acts of terrorism, murdering people, kidnapping people, and collecting ransom and all that. And of course, you agree with me that the ESM also enforce the sit-at-home order every Monday morning that has been declared a public holiday in a sovereign country that has its own laws and rules and regulations that governs the country, right? So we cannot have a government in a government. It's not possible, right? So these are charges before the court, and I want to believe that the justice will be served if he's innocent, he'll be free. If he's not, then he will serve the punishment that comes with the offenses he has been charged along.
All right, there are heavy allegations against Nnamdi Kanu, and there's the part of insightful statements talking about the killings and all. Yes, for the sit at home, we can say yes, the ESN, but for the killings, some people have also argued that have there been any situation where people actually killed people and were able to prove to the world that they are actually members of the ESN. This is questionable though. But let's talk about the havoc caused during Lagos State and SARS protests. The Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry reports suggest that Kanu's hypo may not have been directly involved in the NSAS protest violence. How do you respond to this finding?
I just can't imagine or find a way around such an accusation. We're talking about NSAS protests, and we're talking about the brutality of the Nigerian police on the Nigerian citizens, right? As we speak, we're still there's as we speak, there are still ongoing protests. For instance, in Makodi 2 days ago, there was a protest against the brutality of the police on Nigerian citizens, right? So the NSAS protest for me doesn't have anything or doesn't have any link to do with Nnamdi Kanu, right? Nnamdi Kanu is not from Lagos State, and I find it very difficult or hard to believe that a man in prison will have influence over such a protest to go on and for the period that the protest was on, right? These were Nigerians that genuinely came out to protest against the police brutality, right? And of course, you agree with me that we have a lot of our police officers that are untrained, and we see them behaving very unprofessional, right? So if we see them in such a manner, behaving in such a manner, an indisciplined way, right? There's nothing wrong with asking that there should be some reform, police reform, right? So that these acts of brutality should not continue. We watched some videos on the social media platform where police brutalizing Nigerians, intimidating Nigerians. Meanwhile, their responsibility or mandate is to see that these citizens are protected. Right. Rather than protecting them, they are intimidating them, they are brutalizing them and all that. That is not the duty of the police, right? If you suspect anybody that is into any act of criminality or and all that, your duty and mandate is to see that the person is arrested. Once the person is arrested, in a sane society, you must ensure that you carry out investigation, proper and detailed investigation, until the person is found wanting in the course of your investigation. That is when you invite the person, or that's when you arrest the person. But in this part of the world, the reverse is the case. Somebody is arrested before investigation commences and all that. It shouldn't be done like that. And of course, we know the processes of investigation. It starts from interviewing to questioning, from questioning to interrogation. Once you start interviewing and you establish certain facts, around the person, that the person or the suspect must have committed such a crime. Now you leave that stage of interviewing, you get to the point of questioning, and from the point of questioning, you have truly established that he has some evidence against him or her. And that is when you get to the point of interrogation. Once you get to the point of interrogation, that is the last stage of investigation. At that point, you have truly established that such a person committed the crime, and that is when you can go ahead and arrest such a person. But in the event where you arrest the person, you parade the person, you put the person in front of media, and that's why the chief of what do you call it, the chief justice, the minister of justice and attorney general of the federation has come out to tell the police, and that he has condemned the act that they should stop publicizing suspected criminals, before the media. Which of course that is the case, because in the event where you show somebody that is innocent at the end of the day, how do you now need to go back to the same media to tell Nigerians or to tell the world that the person did not actually committed the crime, right? So we need to truly establish that suspects commit the crime before you put them out there. In the event where they did not commit the crime, how do you now begin to see how to give them a facelift, right, in the presence of Nigerians that you have already condemned? So that is in the ideal sense, right? Is a global practice You know, I wonder why our own Nigerian police are doing the other way around.
Well, we also wonder, like every other Nigerians have been wondering what exactly is the standard of operation when it comes to our own police force. But I remember that prior to that NSAS protest, it was about Nigerians, young Nigerians, really tired of how they were being treated by the Nigerian police. And it was even beyond the young Nigerians because, I mean, for you to be a young person, you definitely have parents, you have family members. And most of this harassment happened after wrong profiling. The Nigerian police just had a mindset about people, and once they profile them, there's no way you are escaping their wrath. And it was more about tasking, it was more about obtaining by trick, because there was no legal standing or backing to how the police were extorting young citizens. But still on this issue, when, yes, the people that raised concern about Nnamdi Kanu's insightful statement, talking about attack on Lagos State, mentioning specific people, but for some other people, it's about the government's response to the NSAS protest. Many people said that, yeah, it wasn't really when the young people hit the streets that the problem started. It was when the agitation were loud on social media and the government was not doing anything, even though on the part of some of the governors, they have evidences to say that, oh, we tried talking to the people. But I mean, you know what it is when people are exhausted, and it felt like a goat already at the wall. All they wanted to do was just to turn back and fight back. But let's talk about how the government addressed the NSAS protest, because many people have said that their response was heavy-handed and also contributed to the violence. Do you think that the government bears some responsibilities for this mayhem?
Yeah, you see, when the issue of the protest started, at some point, the government of Lagos State were pacifying the protesters. If I recall, and if you also recall, at some point during the protest, the governor of Lagos State himself went to the protest ground, you know, to address the young Nigerians that were protesting against the police brutality. But you see, when we have an authority, and I want to believe that a constituted authority should be respected. A constituted authority should be honored, right? If the governor himself came to the protest ground to appeal to the protesters that all what you are saying, all the demands, I recall vividly that the governor even took the demands
To
of the
Abuja.
protesters to the president, to Abuja, to the president then, right? And the president looked at their demands and all that and said they were going to look at it, and almost immediately the SARS
That unit.
unit was disbanded. Yes, was disbanded by the Inspector General of Police then, right? So I felt that, or I believe that if the governor himself came and appealed, the protesters would have listened to the governor at least. If they had listened to the governor then, the issues wouldn't have gravitated to the level that it got to, where it was now left for the government to use a show of force or use a
But
kinetic approach
don't you
to the
think
issue.
that
Because
the young
yes,
people the protesters were frustrated? Because according to report, that was not the first time that it will be in the news that that unit was disbanded, and you find them on the road over and over again. A lot of people even say that when situations like this come up, they just rebrand them, give them another name, and they won't still stop taunting the people. So don't you think it was about a people that were really frustrated? I understand that there are no excuses for illegalities, but on the part of being a parent now, let me take it personal. Don't you think that we were tired at the time and frustrated?
yes. In as much as we were tired and frustrated, but I want you to agree with me that two wrongs can never make a right, right? If the police were wrong in the issue, in the way and manner they were handling citizens of this country, and protesters came, blocked the road. Don't forget that they had the right to protest, and also their right stops from where another person's rights. Their right stops where another person's rights continue from.
True.
There were other Nigerians that were not part of the protest. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
There were other Nigerians that were not part of their protest, but their rights were also trampled upon. they didn't have the means of passing through the blockade. The road, of course, you agree with that the toll gate was blocked. Other Nigerians that were on the other side couldn't pass or cross to the other side to go about their lawful businesses, and vice versa, the other side of the road as well. Now, if the police were wrong, does that make the protesters to also toe the path of doing what is wrong? Now, don't forget that the police were also victims. Recall that some police stations were burnt and some police officers were also killed during the protest.
True. True.
Are you there?
Yes.
Yes. So two wrongs can never make it right. Now, the government and the police admitted or agreed that yes, the police were brutalizing Nigerians, innocent Nigerians. And the governor came there, collected their request, and appealed to them. And the following day, he was in Abuja. The youth right would have given the governor a benefit of a doubt that, okay, since the governor of the state has come himself and listened to us, he has pacified us, he has appealed and all that. I want to believe that they would have respected that constituted authority at that particular point.
Okay.
But rather than doing that, they did not do that. They did the opposite. At the end of the day, did you see the destruction, the damage the protest cost Lagos State? We saw where BRT buses were burnt, properties of businessmen, individuals that have labored all through the years of their lives, their shops, looted,
and many have not been able to even recover from that loss, according to reports. But I want us to...
that is what the government then and police as an institution were trying to avoid, because they saw or they knew that in events like this, hoodlums will want to come in, to do the act of stealing.
Hijack the whole protest. The intention will be hijacked. Yeah. And that eventually happened.
Exactly. So just imagine that the protesters listened to the governor the first time he came. This thing wouldn't have happened.
Okay, let's come to the claims by the DSS in evidence that the ESN, that's the Eastern Security Network, is an illegal organization. I want us to put the ESN side by side with the Amotekun, which is a group of security guards that are supposed to be supporting other security operatives. And of course, on their own parts, they had approval from the State's House of Assembly. So it's not just a group of persons. I mean, if a Sunday Igboho, who was agitating for Yoruba Nation at the time, had come out to say, oh, these are my boys, it will have been, you might be able to equate them to the ESN. But now, these are the differences between these two people or two apparatus. Now, the DSS does describe the ESN as an illegal organization, while Amotekun is recognized as a legitimate security outfit. Let me get your thoughts on this distinction first.
Now, let me start by saying that the establishment of Amotekun, a regional security outfit in the Southwest region, followed or went through a process of law. The 5 states in the Southwest region, right? The legislatures of the 5 state House of Assembly came together or individually did it at their level, at their various states. The need and the reason why they should have a regional security body named Amotekun. So it followed a process. Yes, it followed a process of law, right? And an act of the state assembly of the various states in the Southwest established the Amotekun local security organization, all with a mandate to comb and combat crime within the region. Now, an organization like that has gone through the process, it was legislated upon. Members of the State House of Assembly in the 5 states in the Southwest, the bill to establish the local structure went through process stages and all that. First reading, second reading, and third reading before it was finally passed into law and signed by the various state governors of the state. Right. So that alone is enough for us to understand or agree that Amotekun has the legal backing. Right. But when it comes to the ESN, which law established the Eastern Security Network, there was no law. There was no, and Nigeria is not we cannot see or make Nigeria a banana republic. And Nigeria as a country is guided by laws. We have our constitution. We have the federal constitution, and states also have their own some laws at the state level that were either enacted or established by the various state house of assemblies in Nigeria. So, which of the state house of assembly in the southeast did the law to establish the Eastern Security Network? There was no law. Unlike the Ebubeagu security outfit that the five southeast governors wanted to put themselves together to copy or borrow a leaf from the establishment of Amotekun in the southwest. I think they tried to see that they established an organization such as the Ebubeagu, but up to as we are talking or speaking, we have not seen the Ebubeagu in action the way we see the Amotekun in the southwest. So the ESM, as far as the law of Nigeria is concerned, it's illegal. There is no law backing the establishment of ESM. And that is why the federal government of President Muhammadu Buhari proscribed IPOB, because ESM is an offshoot of IPOB. Right? So and that was why they proscribed IPOB as a terrorist organization. And if you ask me, the ESM were committing acts of terrorism. Just the way I said in one of my remarks here. They were kidnapping, they were collecting ransom, they were murdering people. They would just pick you up and kill you, right? So these are terrorist acts. So if the IPOB was proscribed and Nnamdi Kanu as their leader is being tried for treason or for any act that is before the court, and that was why I told you that when you are trying such a person, you don't consider the rights of such a person, right? Because the person has breached some of the laws of the country. So therefore, the person should be treated as a criminal, alleged criminal, until it's proved or established that yes, he or she did not commit the crime before the court. But as we are talking, ESM is still there, and they are still committing those acts of criminality.
Okay. The trial is ongoing, even though we both agree that it's been a long time coming, 10 years and still counting. But we are sincerely trusting the judiciary to ensure a fair, put a balance to this. And at the end of the day, we hope to see the end of this trial. But it's time to go on a break, Doctor. We would return shortly to talk about the performance of the Ministry of Defense. Please stay with us.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go to the comment section, and I bet you I am learning a lot from there, and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and Njoku will continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move.